All right, this is part two. Let's get going. Okay, with part two, we have here Elena, number 5. Elena is trying to figure out how many movies she can download to her hard drive. The hard drive is supposed to hold 500 gigabytes, but 58 gigabytes are already taken up by other files. Each movie is 8 gigabytes. Okay, so two things to look at. We got to look at how much do we have total. Looks like we have a total of 500 gigabytes, but we already have 58 in there, and it's 8 gigabytes per movie, okay? So we got to ask the question of, can Elena add 44 more movies to her hard drive? So I know that her max is 500. We have 58 already. And I know that for each movie, it's 8 gigabytes. So it's going to be plus 8 times each movie, right? So if we have 44 movies, we do 8 times 44. Let's go ahead and look over here what we get. Put that in the calculator, I get 58 plus 8 times 44. I get 410 gigabytes, okay? So to answer the question, can she add 44 movies to her hard drive? The answer is yes. Okay? So she says the expression, this is part B now. This should be B, not A. Apologize. 58 plus 8x helps her in this situation. So what does the expression represent? What does X stand for? So what we just talked about is that 58 represent our gigabytes, correct? So there's that 58 there. And then 8x, think about this, 8x. That's like saying 55 plus 8 times x, right? But we said 8 times x. If you look over here for our last example, we said 44. That came from the 44 movies, didn't it? So I know that x can represent, X is movies, okay? Feeling good? Let's keep going. Okay, so write and solve an equation to determine how many movies can go in the hard drive. Well, again, I have a total of 500, but I start with 58 plus 8 times X number of movies. That's equal to 500, okay, class? So we got to write and solve the equation. So this says how many movies exactly could fit into this hard drive when a total is 500? Well, looking at this, I got to solve this by saying 58 plus 8x. I got to subtract first, right? You start with everything outside that's not connected to the x. So I should subtract first, and I get 8x, and that's equal to 442, okay? 442. Last thing, that's 8 times x. I have 8 x's. I just need one of them. If I just need one of them, I need to divide. Okay, in this case, divide by 8. I divide that by 8. We get x is equal to 55.25, okay? So that's about how many movies she can hold in the hard drive. But think about this. Can you have 0.25 of a movie? In reality, maybe if you use the downloading thing, right, and this cuts off, but really we can only hold 55 movies, okay? We can't hold 55 movies in a fourth of one. Well, the next one says, write and solve an inequality that represents this situation. Explain clearly what the solution to the inequality means in the context of this situation. So think about this, right? Can we go more than 500, or we can only go up to 500? If you said up to 500, there's an inequality right there, right? We know that 500 is going to be our maximum. And are we going to be bigger or smaller than 500? Okay, our number should be smaller than 500, or it could be equal to it, right? That's totally okay to have 500 gigabytes. But we'll say the same equation, except now we have an inequality. So looking at C, that's the same answer there, right? But it looks like if we solve it, we'll have x is less than or equal to 55.25 movies, or x can only be, you can only have 55 or less movies, okay? So we say 55 or less movies. Okay, hopefully that's making sense. Let's double check our answers here, okay? Again, you can always pause this video, double check what we did. All the inequality is just saying what's the maximum amount of movies, and then can we get below that, right? And that would be our answer there. So again, A, you can see that I have, yes, you can do 44 movies. That gives you 352. B, these are all wrong for some reason. B, C, D. B, there's your expression. We say X represents the number of movies, and then we solve for it. We got X is equal to 55.25. And then we saw that the inequality was there as well, right? Meaning that we can have 55 or less movies on the hard drive. Okay, I know that's a little bit hard, really wordy, right? But you got to break it down into chunks and you'll solve it. Let's try another one. So Daniel had $25 to spend at the fair. That's his maximum amount. If the admission to the fair is $4 and the rides cost $1.50 each, what is the greatest number of rides Daniel can go on? Okay, let's wait on solving that, but let's do A, B, and C on this part first. So we know that the maximum amount of money he has is $25, right? He doesn't have 25.5, doesn't have 25.80, doesn't have $26. He has $25, okay? So looking at that, I can think, oh, well, how much is each ride? A says, can you go on 15 rides? So if I say a ride is $1.50 each, if I have 15 of them, I need to multiply. So 15 times 1.5. Put that in my calculator, I should get 22.50. So $22.50. Okay, because it's $1.50 per ride. So remember, we also need a fee, an admission fee. So we have here, the admission fee is $4 plus 15 rides. That's about $26.50. Can he get on the ride? Not at all, right? Because his maximum amount he can spend is $25, okay? If he goes over that, then tough luck. Can't go on 15 rides or 15 Colossus rides or 15, what's those rides in Disneyland? Magic Mountain, Space Mountain, or something like that. Okay, now B, we have to write an inequality, okay? Remember, the maximum amount is 25. He can't go over, but he can spend less, right? So remember, this $25 is your total. And then we have here $4 is what you have to pay in just to get in. That's your start. And then your $1.50 fee, okay? So I'm just going to say this again. My equation for B is going to be what we start with, $4 plus $1.50 for each ride, okay? If each ride, we don't know how many rides, we're going to call that X. So it's $1.50 times how many X number of rides, okay? And think about this. Can we go over $25? If you said no, then you are correct. If you said yes, then you got some problems. Okay, so then we know that that equation is going to be less than or equal to $25, okay? So now I can solve this situation, solve the inequality and explain what the inequality means in this context, okay? Remember, X is the rides. I can say number of rides, okay? X is number of rides. I can solve that, okay, by doing 4 plus 150x less than or equal to 25. So I'm shaking, I gotta hold this together. This is the same thing as solving for an equation, okay? We gotta subtract. We have 1.50x is less than or equal to 21. Throw that into a calculator. I divide by 150. Divide by 150. My x is less than or equal to 14, okay? So the context of this is Daniel can only ride up to, ride up to 14 rides or less. Okay, let's double check. Okay, there's our equation, there's our answers. We saw that we can't ride 15 rides, but we can ride 14 rides or less, okay? All right, before we stopped this video, part 2 of it, we're going to finish these real quick. All right, so when I say something like expand to write an equivalent expression, remember expanding means to, I believe, take out of something, right? I believe expand means to take out to something. So if I was to expand this, I need to find what can I take out from that 6 and 3. I need to find a common number or a common factor that could be divided out, okay? I like to do is look at the lowest number. The lowest number here is 3. I can see that, well, 3 goes into 6 how many times? It goes into 6 2 times, right? So I can take out a 3 by dividing 3. Okay, and I could take those out. And I'm taking out a 3, right? So what's left is I have 1 over 3 times the 3 I'm taking out. Inside is 6 divided by 3 is 2x, and then y, okay? Simplify that. 1/3 times 3 is 1, 2x minus y. Okay, so that would be expanding when we're trying to go backwards of the distributive property and take out something from the parentheses, okay? So that'd be the expansion. Yep, looks like those are our answers. If I times it by 1, I get 2x minus y, okay? All right, one more. Feeling good? So now I got a factor to write an equivalent expression. Same idea. I'm going to put parentheses here. Again, I understand it's a little bit hard, right? But we got to find a number that's the same for both of those that could be divided out of it. I look at 10. The only factors I have is 2 and 5, right? So I can probably take out a 5, but can I take out a 36 or a 5 from 36? What goes into 36 when you divide by 5, right? It doesn't match. So I'm going to have to take out a 2, okay? So I'm going to divide both of these by 2. And then we're going to take out a 2. So 36 divided by 2, that's going to be 18 minus 5x. Okay, class? That should be your equivalent. Looks like I can't take any numbers out. Let's double check our answer. There you have it. Okay, that's going to be part 2. Go ahead and you can pause this video and keep going to part 3. Again, this is a review to help you, right? It helps you think through all of this. But keep on working hard, okay? You got this. I believe in you. Keep trying.